What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. We also take a look at the traditional markets during the week, so we're going to be doing that today. I do believe there's a big move coming this week, most likely, so we'll talk about that and which way it might go. Don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free, and let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, it's not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Disclaimers on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And remember, this is my opinion, not yours. All right, so we're going to take a look at the news headlines first, just to get the feel for the sentiment. Get set for Bitcoin halving. Here's what this means. Bitcoin is notoriously volatile, prone to sudden price surges and swift reversals, can wipe out millions of dollars. Blah, blah, blah. Crypto, long and short, why Bitcoin's rally is a sign of its, what's that say? Let's check it out. Is a sign of its economic resilience. Well, we really haven't seen any of that yet. It's just pretty much following the Dow Jones and traditional markets. Whether people like to admit it or not, check out the charts. Sell the news, why the post-halving price drop isn't valid. Bitcoin broke a key technical pattern. It's vulnerable to a drop. This odd signal marks Bitcoin's 3,700 lows. Bitcoin, now it calls for something else. So let's see. It said this signal marked the 37 lows. Now it's saying BTC is topping out. If you follow this channel, we've already been talking about all this. And we had called that top at 94, although we were a little short. But let's look at the fear and greed index. 44. Yesterday we were at 45. We dropped 1 point, obviously, because the price dropped a little bit. But people are still really bullish. Let's take a look at the monthly. Now, on the monthly, we have this red support line here. It's right at about 85.30. We did come down. We tagged it. We're sitting on top of it now, but again, this is the monthly. I'm still thinking that we most likely come back down and test this 55 EMA, which is right around the $5,000 range. And my wife's webpage, definitely check it out, guys. There's a link down below. I'll put one in the pinned comments too. Inkerimage.com. She has lots of cool crypto stuff in here. You can put any crypto you like, anything you want. She can put on there as long as it's not copyrighted. And family pictures, whatnot, check it out. Great way to support the channel. Let's look at the weekly. So on the weekly, I moved this target down a little bit because we have moved. But again, guys, this is not my first choice of where we're headed right now. I still think we're headed down. But I'm looking at this in the yellow as a falling broadening wedge. If we were to break out, let's say this week, the measured move would be about 16,000, but we still have this white trend line here off of these two wicks, which would be right around the $10,500 range, would have major resistance there. Obviously, we know about 10,500 because it has been major resistance in the past. So upon a break of the 10.5 and close the daily above it, I would have a target of 16,000. But of course, as of right now, I do not. And let's take a look at the RSI. We talked about this falling channel, and if we would have closed the week yesterday outside of it, would have been bullish. We did not. We got rejected. As you guys know, I really like my RSIs. So let's see what happens here. Will we pop back up and get out of it? But keeping an eye on this on the weekly close is key to knowing where we're going, guys. Also, let's take a look at the low targets here. We have this trend line on the bottom. Let me get rid of the RSI for us. If we look at the EMAs, they're still looking kind of bullish right here, but I do believe we're going to have a drop. But it does look like they want to cross up. If they do, that could, obviously signal more upward movement. But these are my targets for the lows. Now, I'm not saying these are going to happen, guys. I'm saying these are my low targets. 28.45 would be the first one, which is this white trend line all the way back from 2016. And then $1,000 area, which is the bottom of this falling broadening wedge. We'll see what happens there. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying make sure you're aware that it could happen. That's why we do daily updates every single day. That reminds me, guys, make sure you smash the likes. You guys been kicking butt at smashing the likes. It's really been helping the videos get out there. And everyone that's leaving comments, guys, I really appreciate it. You help the channel out more than you know. If you've never left a comment, check it out. It's not going to kill you. Yeah. But make sure you hit the likes and subscribe to the channel if you want daily updates. Again, in the daily here, we had this target of 94. Obviously, we breached it. Went a little above, but we did top out there, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the RSIs here, or the EMAs, and we are getting ready. The 21 is getting ready to cross the 200 back up. So that is a bullish sign, but we'll see what happens. I still think there's a possibility we drop here. We did get a bounce off of the 8 EMA here, which we also have this support and resistance line here at 8,500. As you guys know, and we did get a bounce there. I'm not saying that we don't have another bounce up. I'll show you why I don't think so in a minute, because Litecoin and Ethereum have been a great indicator for Bitcoin, and we're going to take a look at their charts and RSI. Their RSIs are very interesting. So now let's look at these lower targets I have here and why I have them. I simply took a Fibonacci retracement from the swing low at 38.50 to the swing high at 9,500 or 94.90, whatever it hit there. Each one of these white target lines hit, I don't want to say target, each one of these prices, the white prices, represents the 81.73 represents the 0.236, and then we have the 0.382 at 73.51, and then the 66.74 is our 0.5, 0.618 at around 6,000, and then my target I've been talking about for quite some time, the 5,400 down here, and then we have the 0.786 is around the $5,000 range. I believe that we most likely come down to the 6,000 at least. If that breaks, then we look at the 54. If that breaks, looking at 5,000. But guys, I'm still bearish here. I know everybody's super bullish. Even if we come up to this 10,150, which would be retesting the top of this rising broadening wedge here. Even if we came up and tested that, I'm still bearish unless we cross 10,500 and close the daily above it. That is the only way I switch to bullish, long-term bullish. But as of right now, like I said, we could possibly get a pump up to the 10.1 area, 10.2. to retest the bottom of this falling or rising wedge, but rising broadening wedge, but I doubt it. I do want to point out one thing. We were talking about this volume here, and we had said we had this breakout. If you look at it, I guess you could consider this a breakout. We did have a nice little pump, but in the big picture, guys, we still have declining volume here. So I still think there's a much bigger move coming. Yeah, like I said, it's still declining volume from over here on this pump. So, like I said, we could come up here. If we look at this bottom trend line that I have right here off of all these wicks, if we cloned that, let's do that real quick, and put it up to this wick here, that would line up in that area to coming back up to maybe even the 10.5. But this would be a rising channel, which then we would have a falling target, depending on where it broke down, obviously. But let's say it was over here somewhere. That would get us back down to that $5,800 to $6,000 range. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying that is it yet, but it is a possibility if we come up and tag this. So keep that in mind. But like I said, I'm still bearish here overall, unless we pass that 10.5, which I don't see happening. Let's look at the RSI. Whoops. All right, so looking at the RSI, you guys know, if you watch the channel, we had talked about this possible inverse head and shoulders way back in here. We had it drawn. I'll put it over there real quick, and it happened. So as of right now, we look like we're in a rising broadening wedge, which is a bearish sign. We could get a nice pump up. Like I said, if you look at it in the price action, let me move this down. We did get bearish divergence right here. We had a higher high in the price action, lower high in the RSI, which gave us this pressure down. We could get another pump higher and it not get as high on here and be more bearish divergence before the big fall. But as of right now, if we were to close right here, this would be hidden bullish divergence because we have lower lows in the RSI. And this is the daily, guys. So until tonight, this wouldn't confirm. If we were still in the same exact area, it would be hidden bullish divergence because we have higher lows in the price, lower lows in the RSI. But we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on that. But ultimately, in the RSI here, like I said, we could get another push up before down. But ultimately, we're going to come back down and test this trend line in the RSI. And if that breaks, that's pretty damn bearish. We would most likely come all the way back down to this white trend line or worse. Again, reason I'm bearish. Now let's look at the 4-hour chart. As you can see, the 55 EMA down here is around the $8,400 range. Most likely we're going to come down and test that, in my opinion, right here at the 8,400. If that breaks, then we'd be looking at the 0.618, which is around 8,200. If that 8,200 breaks, we're definitely looking at these lower targets here, guys. But we got to remember we have this trend line over here too, where if you look right where the top of this, some people were calling it a symmetrical or a ascending triangle, but that's around the $7,700 to $7,800 range. That looks like a good point. If we extended this top trend line here, those of you that watch my channel know what these three trend lines are. If not, go back, watch it. But they would all meet up right around in here, around that 7,700. So it's a good possibility that could be where we're headed. If we look at the EMAs here, they're all turning bearish. The 8 is getting ready to cross the 21, which is extremely bearish. And like I said, about the 8,400 down here is at 55 EMA. If that breaks, then the 200 and everything else would line up around the same place down here, around the 7,700. But let's look at the RSI, and then I'm going to switch over to Litecoin and Ethereum's RSI, and then we're going to go over to the Dow Jones and see how that's looking today. But as you can see, I have these trend lines drawn in here, and actually when I blow it up, it's a little different. But it does look like we have one more test to the downside here. And if this breaks, obviously that's our bigger move down. I do believe the bigger move is going to be down, guys. Let's look at Litecoin's RSI. As you can see, Litecoin already broke its rising channel. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum already broke its rising channel. So my guess is Bitcoin's next for breaking its rising channel. That's usually what happens. So that's where I'm at with that, guys. Let's go to Litecoin. Litecoin, same thing. In the 4-hour, we are below all the EMAs, the 13, 21, and 50, or 13, 21, and 8 up here. We're getting resistance at the 55 right now, and the 200 EMAs around the 44 to $45 range. That's most likely where we're headed. And if this breaks, which I believe it will, then we're headed down to retest this $41 to $42 range. But the 0.618 retracement of the swing low to swing high is around the $35 range. So it's most likely 35 to 37 is where I think we're going to end up coming down and testing after this move. Ethereum, same thing. We are below the 55 here also. So again, signaling what I think is going to happen in Bitcoin. And everything's looking pretty damn bearish, guys. 190 is the next support. Then we have the 200 EMA, which is going to be around the 182 to 183 range. But the target off this swing low to swing high for me is around 142. Let's look at the pre-market for Dow Jones. We're down 225 points. And again, I think we've broken out of this channel, or I'm sorry, this rising wedge. And my target where we broke out here is 20,300 points. Still believe we're headed there. I still believe we're headed much lower. And if you want to know my lower targets, definitely check out previous videos from last week or whatever. I don't want to go over it and waste all your guys' time, but I do appreciate you guys stopping by. I will leave some a Prime XBT tutorial up top. If you guys are interested in trading, definitely check it out. If you use my promo code Savy50, you get 50% bonus on top of your deposit. Savy25 gets you 25% all of your trading fees. I also have Bybit and DOW exchange links down below. Definitely check them out. If you guys are interested in trading, there's going to be some big moves coming up. If you use my links, you get bonuses on the exchanges with my links down below. So definitely check them out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave your comments, subscribe by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head to get daily updates, and I'm out.